Dr. Steve Pieczenik, and this is Steve Talks. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking to you today about the May 7th election of Emmanuel Macron as the President of France. First, I would like to congratulate President Macron. He is 39 years old and is the youngest president in the history of the Fifth Republic, which is about 60 years old. I would like to tell him that he has a very difficult job, as he knows. Although he claims he's an outsider from the French government, he's in fact very well versed in the economy of the French government, in the political system of the French government, and understands the ongoing problems of socialism. My concern for Monsieur Macron is that he will have to start turning France away from the 20th century socialism into the 21st century internet age of capitalism. That's going to be a very difficult problem for Mr. Macron because, number one, although he wants the Khomri law, Khomri, which was passed through legislation, and he was a supporter, and it states that the French government will have fewer employees, longer working time, less severance pay. In other words, all of the elements that will turn the French worker into an entrepreneur. I think he will have a very, very difficult time because most of the French students who are used to a socialized system and used to working a 35-hour week with 8 weeks of vacation and a pension that starts in the 50s and early 60s, that will have to change. In order for him to begin to change the government, he will have to clean out the various politicians whose families are already in the French government and receive a very high pension. Number two, he will have to change the laws of France so that serial entrepreneurs like myself and others who have grown up in France can begin to start various companies without very much difficulty with the state or with the local regions. Number three, he will have to invest heavily in the major French industries like nuclear power plants, the railroad systems, and particularly my favorite is Toulouse, where the Airbus is made by the French, the Germans, the British, and some of the Spanish. I think Airbus is one of the most incredible exports that you have in France, and I think that should be increased. At the same time, the French will have to learn how to live in the internet age. That is not as difficult as it was for the Americans because the telecommunication systems in France were in many ways far more advanced than they were in the United States. The other element that Macron will have to think about is that France has vested interest in their old colonies, in particular in the Maghreb, that is Tunisia, Morocco, and Algeria. You no longer have to have wars in those areas, but you do have to promote the kind of democracy and financial growth that should have been there in the first place. I think you understand how to work with the individuals from the Maghreb, and at the same time you will have to work with your interests in Africa. In particular, those countries that you colonized in the 19th and the 20th century. You know those colonies, you know them better than we do. In fact, I would appreciate it if the French took over those colonies and allowed the American troops to leave Africa, because that is not our particular national security interest, and we have repositioned some of our soldiers in your French area of Djibouti, Africa. The last but not least important is the fact that you will have to be dealing with political unrest. There will be many of the students who will not like what you impose in terms of your legislation. You know very well, as I do, there will be riots, there will be dissension, and there will be disruption. Your forces are quite strong. The gendarmerie is a very formidable entity. It's a very strong police system. La Piscine, your intelligence is very strong and very effective. At the same time, you will have to manage the riots and discontent that will occur within France because of the necessity of the changes that you must make for the 21st century. I wish you the best of luck, and I would like you to remember the quote that is on the British banner, "Mal y soit qui mal y pense." Evil comes to those who think evilly. I do not think you will have that type of attitude. I wish you bonne chance, good luck, and I congratulate you and France for the future. Hi, this is Dr. Steve Pieczenik. This is Steve Talks.